Good morning, everybody. Have an early morning at work today. I had one yesterday too. Kind of a full day training program that I have at work. So although I am running a little late, stuck behind the ShopRite truck around Monroe, so still about a half hour or so, 40 minutes from work in Orangeburg. I just wanted, and I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I felt like I wanted to make a video today, just because I don't think there's really anything on the radio at 7:30 in the morning that I want to listen to. Maybe there is, I don't know. They don't have Gerson Keeler on anymore. I mean, is that just like a whole plan just to be like, oh look, we all quote unquote lost our jobs, and now we can get rid of Trump? Like, is that what they're thinking? Like, because like everybody knew all this. I don't know, Gerson Keeler, that I didn't know about. I mean, like, I don't think he really did anything that bad. I mean, yeah, according to halacha, but he's not Jewish. You know, he always talks about how he's Christian. You know, I mean, what what's really going on? I mean, everybody knew about all these other, you know, Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and all of them. I mean, they made jokes on Family Guy for years about this stuff and everything. Like, everybody knew what was going on. It's just they're picking to do it now. I mean, they ignored all the stuff Obama did. They ignored all the stuff Clinton did because, like, you know, that's what you expect from Democrats. I mean, at least Clinton, like, everybody knew he was doing. Like, with Obama, the people who made accusations against him, they were like, oh, even though, like, the guy passed a what do you call it, a lie detector test, you know, they didn't care. Like, nobody, you know, they destroyed Herman Cain, and Obama got away with all the stuff he did. You know, I mean, it just is what it is. But I think, you know, the thing with Trump is that here you have someone who ran as a Republican, who acts like a Democrat in his personal life, is not attached to any real ideology other than to try to help people, you know. I mean, he's not, you know, I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I can understand what Republicans don't like about Donald Trump. I don't understand what the Democrats don't like about him. I know, I've said this time and time again. It just boggles my mind. I mean, he's essentially pretty liberal when it comes. He's like a classical liberal in many ways, you know, more the old-fashioned type Democrat than he is a Republican. Whatever. I don't know. He's doing a much better job than I thought he would. You know, he wasn't my first choice. I would have much rather seen a statesman like Ted Cruz, something like that. I mean, I know Glenn Beck was upset at Ted Cruz for eventually endorsing Trump. But I mean, what was he supposed to do? I mean, you know, and I love the idealism that Glenn Beck has, but like, what was Ted Cruz supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? Just sit it out? Just, I mean, I don't know. And he's doing much better, Donald Trump, than I would have thought he did. He's much more, you know, but he's essentially a centrist, you know. First of all, he's the most pro-gay president ever to go into the, like, why don't the Democrats love him? I don't understand. It's just because he has the R next to his name. They don't care what his policies are or anything. You know, it's like they said on Saturday Night Live, like, this guy could be giving out free ice cream, and they're like, oh, why aren't you giving out free pizza? You know, like, it's just an irrational hatred that I don't understand from the Democrat side. From the Republican side, I can understand it, and yet the Republicans are, you know, tolerant enough to tolerate this guy who really is not one of them, just for the good of the unity of the country. You know, so whatever. I wish someone would explain it to me, because I just don't understand. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I've been making the Stafiomi video seems like it's getting a fair amount of views, but I don't know if those are organic views or if those are just from these sub for sub programs I'm doing. So I know a few people have commented that they're enjoying the Daf Yomi Shirim. It's not really me. It's very interesting material. Particularly, it's probably one of the most interesting Masechtas that I've come across. I remember Moshe Meir Weiss, you should be well, like he said, don't go around saying I love Avodah Zarah. But it's we do get into later on more halachic material, particularly about Yain Nesach. That's a little bit more difficult, but in the meantime, I'm trying to keep up with it. I think I just fallen back now, or maybe just caught up. I only did yesterday the Amud because I've just been so busy. I'll try to catch up today, but people should let me know if you're a fan of the Daf Yomi. Should I continue doing it, or is there just enough Daf Yomi available online? Oh no. What do you feel about it? Should I continue doing it? Should I not? Now I'm going to be stuck in this traffic for a while. Maybe I should make a separate video about something else. This way, they say for the algorithms, it's better to have shorter videos that people watch the whole thing. So let me know in the comments section. Should I keep doing the Daf Yomi? Should I do it at least through the first few parakim, the first few chapters of Avodah Zarah? Do you have any interest in continuing it? And if I'm going to try to keep up with it. I'm going to try my best, because I am learning other Masechtas on my own, not doing the Shir. I'm learning Zvachim because I did Avodah Zarah twice already. Not worship, Chas v'Shalom. I learned Masechtas of Avodah Zarah twice already. Once with, Baron Teitelbaum, the Satmar Rebbe from Monroe. He has a program that I do where it's one Amud 5 days a week, so it's like 2.5 blot a week. He calls that Yesodei HaTorah. It's a good program, much easier to keep up with than the Daf Yomi. To do Daf Yomi on Friday, it's really a tough thing. This you could do Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one Amud. It's much easier to keep up with. So I think it's a easier program. But then recently I've just been going straight through with the Daf Yomi, and especially if there is short dapim, I'll do 2 or 3 in the same day, and some days even more. It's one thing. It's very, very well known the Satmar Rav was against the Daf Yomi. In the Satmar, they don't learn Daf Yomi, but I'm not a Satmar Chassid. I remember some years ago, I was interested in a position as a rabbi in a shul. I mentioned something that I was teaching in a yeshiva in Prague, and it's in Kiryas Yol, here in the Satmar community. They asked me, "You a Satmar?" And I said, "No, I teach Daf Yomi." So, but they still didn't want to give me the job because I mentioned the bigotry that they have against one of the most loving and welcoming and wonderful communities that there is, and a community that has no agenda. It's not like how Chabad, they all want everyone to be Chabad Hasidim. I remember in Or Sameach, that's what, they told a story that they saw, Lubavitchers talking to, regular yeshiva shebachrim, and someone asked them, why are you talking to them? There's enough fry people to be Makarev. Why are you talking to them? They said, well, because we have to make everybody Chabad. That's their ideology. Satmar couldn't care less if you're a Satmar, if you're Litvish, Hasidish, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, just be yourself. And that's one thing, compared to these more, and they're not looking for new adherents, they're not looking to add anybody to them, they're not looking, They don't care about PR. They just care about being themselves, being true to what they believe in. And I really respect that, because in many ways, Chabad sold out a lot, to try to attract people, and they wound up watering down a lot of the things that they've stood for all the years. Whereas, places like Satmar, Lakewood is the same thing, is more like Satmar. They stand for what they are, and they don't care what anybody else thinks. That's why they're more Matzliach. I heard this from a well-known Jew in Monsey. He told me this. Someone people wouldn't expect to say it, and I'm not really going to mention his name because he's controversial, and I disagree with him on a lot of things. But this Yid, he told me, very famous controversial Yid in Monsey. People probably know who I mean by now if I'm saying this, but I don't agree with his ideology on a lot of things. But he said like this. He said, look at how successful Lakewood is, because Rabban Kotler didn't give in. He insisted he didn't want the Limudei Chol. That was his approach, and he would have gotten more money and everything, and if he taught Limudei Chol there. But he didn't, and because of that, and it started out was a tiny little thing, and now it's huge, And the same thing with Satmar. It started out small. Satmar of Chassid Aleinu, he had his ideas, and Rabban Kotler's Chassid Aleinu had his ideas, and they stayed true to who they are, who they were, and who they still are, because Tzaddikim Mislusam Reb Chaim, in the real sense, not in the nonsense, superstitious, cultish sense that other groups have, but in the real sense, these men, that what they accomplished, Oid Avinu Chai, their Torah is a Levitic Torah because they were true to who they are. Whereas, in a sense, everything that Chabad always stood for, Alter Rebbe, it's like the Rav Shach, Chassid Aleinu, he said that people asked him, aren't you afraid? You fight against Chabad. Aren't you afraid that we also have respect for the Shulchan Aruch Harav? Mishnah Berurah quotes the Shulchan Aruch Harav. Going to Shneur Zalman. Aren't you afraid when you get to Olam Haba? What kind of psak he's going to give you for being right of his anical? And Rav Shach said no. He said he's going to be the first Gemiyah Yasher Koyach for defending his covered. And the thing is, in my book, this last Lubavitch Rebbe was a Choshev Yid. I have no tightness against him. I don't hold like Rav Shach held, even though I have respect for Rav Shach. I respectfully disagree with him about the last Lubavitch Rebbe's own personality. As Gevei Choshev Yid, he was a fine Rebbe. Wasn't a gadol like Samarov, but he was a fine Rebbe, tzaddikel, like all the other Rebelach that are in Borough Park and Monsey, and fine people who I have respect for, and Ov Katina Sach, and Gevei Voila Yid, he was, and Ov Katina Sach, he accomplished big things, like J.B. Soloveitchik also accomplished big things. He was a man like him, like J.B. Soloveitchik. As Gevei Choshev Yid, or J.B. Soloveitchik was a Zecher Tzadik Levracha. He was a Tzadik. He was an Ehrlich Yid. And Ov Katin Groise Sachen. He accomplished a lot. But the problem was not with Lubavitch Rebbe. The problem was with his Hasidim. It's and he has fine Choshev Chassidim also, but most of them also have their eyes open to, you talk to a friend of mine, maybe I shouldn't mention his name because the Lubavitch is a big right of him, he's a Lubavitch Chassid, a friend of mine, he lives upstate all year, and he said that, it's not, it's not what it used to be because they watered it down. the Balei Tshuva, like, it's true, like the kids now in Chabad don't even know the history, even though they study a lot of, but everything is revisionist history when it comes to Chabad. It's not an authentic history, like, I remember I was sitting, Lubavitcher Chassid invited me for dinner once, Shabbos. I was working as a chaplain in a nursing home in Connecticut, and sitting there by the Shabbos table, and the father, a Choshev Chassidish Yid, with a hat and a kapota, and he sat at the table with his gartel on, and his kids were like real bums, like with t-shirts, like army t-shirts, and like, didn't look Yiddish at all, and they sing a Shabbos Tish. Like, I can understand you, I don't forgive someone. You want to go to the movies, you want to, even you go to a bar, relax, you go like that, it's fine, but to sit by the Shabbos Tish at your parents' house like this. But they held sich like their Chabad Hasidim. They didn't see as a stira that they're dressing like, I mean, I shouldn't say, they're not dressing Yiddish, It's like, the Baba Baruva, the Mulgezukt, as a Große Meile in Crown Heights, as the Nuchrim sind in Schwarz, weil demnach so nicht kennen handeln, wer ist a Yid und wer ist nicht. Das ist Chusig in Lein und Heilige Baba Baruva. And, kann ich wissen, wer ist Yid, wer ist nicht, aber demnach fallen. Sie haben ein bisschen mehr Tinkel, der nicht Jiden, man weiß nicht, auch Jiden sind auch gesäubt. Es ist nicht ein Wort gegen die Nicht-Jiden, es ist ein Wort gegen die... So, it's 8 o'clock already. That should be understood as a racist statement. Chas v'sholom, he was a very loving person, and very respectful to everybody. There was a story Moshe Weinberger tells about the Baba Barav. I think he says he heard it from the Baluvda, the one who the story took place. There was a fellow Jimmy, I think he was African American, I'm not sure. He was a painter in Brooklyn. And he came to Baba Barav's Levite, and he was crying and crying. Everybody knew him, and Rabbi Weinberger asked this fellow Jimmy, why are you crying so much? He said, how can I not cry? The rabbi's gone. He gave me my whole life. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the rabbi, the grand rabbi. What do you mean? He said, I'm a painter and I'm here in the community, and the Jewish people, they give me business. And I heard that I could get a job to work for the rabbi. I figured this is going to be my big break, because then if I work for the rabbi, I'll get, I'll get business in the community and stuff, So he goes and he's working, he's painting, doing other jobs in the house, and the Rebbitzin, who was a little bit a difficult person, I mean, we shouldn't speak after Vice Kadeshim Amor, but I'm not going to say anything. But she was giving him a hard time. She wanted things to be. She was very strict about exactly how she wanted her home to be decorated, for Steinman and Borough Park, And so then the daughters also were giving her a hard time, whatever. In the end, the Rebbe, the Baba Rebbe, called this Jimmy in. He said, Jimmy, I want to talk to you. The Baba Rebbe spoke English pretty well. I encouraged, Hasidim to know English and to get even high school degrees and even college. He was very good friends with Bernie Lander, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, who I knew. I remember when you were by Bernie Lander, it was, you felt the Malchus, you felt almost like the same like you by the Berch Moshe, you know, the godless of like Bernie Lander, of Katina, so you could feel, you know, I mean, this is someone who I knew personally, Bernie Lander, so it's a different, maybe, you know, I never saw the Lubavitch Rebbe, I never saw J.B. Soloveitchik, I never saw these other great people, but if I have an idea of what I saw by Bernie Lander, so then I have an idea also who was someone like Lubavitch Rebbe or J.B. Soloveitchik or other people with Aufgeteam Größe Sachen. But anyway, so Baba Rebbe said to this fellow Jimmy, who was working for me, he said, Jimmy, don't worry, you're very, very good. You're doing such a good job. Don't worry what my wife said. Don't worry what my daughters say. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect either. Only God is perfect. But you're very, very good. And you're doing a very good job. And I gave this Jimmy the confidence. And he said, don't worry, I'm going to tell all of my friends they should hire you. You're doing such a good job. And it gave him the confidence, this Jimmy, and it gave him the business and everything, what he could do. So no one should think from the statement I said before that there's any racism, God forbid. It's just, you know, advice that who can you call for a minute, you know, whatever. You know, I didn't see the Baba Rav Chaim Chayusei either. I remember Naftali, I do remember. Shlomo was before my time. I remember saying Tillim for him in high school. He used to daven in our shul where I daven now, in White Lake. He had a kvias there. Unfortunately, I never had the zchus to be there when he was there. It was one time I had a play, and so that was like the last time I was Mechal Shabbos. I wasn't really Mechal Shabbos, but I rode in the car, whatever. I was in the play. I walked as much as I could. Someone picked me up, whatever. And then the next day I actually walked to be in the play, and I should have done it. I should have, and I in a way I regret, because then I could have met Baba Rav. I think it was Baba Rav was there that Shabbos, because I remember Rabbi Fishbein said something. So there was a big rabbi there that Shabbos. He wanted me to come to meet the big rabbi, and I assume must have been Baba Rav. Anyway, Maisa goes that Baba Rav was in our shul. And there was a few people who came to be Mashal in the Minyan, and he said to them, in English, he said, you make me so happy. He said, you know, I'm in Borough Park. It's so easy to have a Minyan, but I come here, you make me so happy. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm running late. I don't know what's going on with this traffic. It's stop and go. Anyway, alright, I said I would make a shorter video, and so anyway, you know, I don't chas v'shalom have anything against Lubavitch Rebbe. I go to daven at the oil. I hold from him. It's Gevena Groisi Yid. But when I go there, I also go to Manastritzer Rebbe. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Manastritzer Rebbe is auch Gevena Chushvi Yid. You know, like why everyone's going to him and not to Manastritz? Well, because he was a Meforsim in Lubavitch Rebbe. You know, Nachman Breslauer says that, you know, anybody who is a fine Erlich Yid and does what, you know, and just tries to do their best, even if they're not, you know, on the highest madrega, but they'll be a Meforsim. That's, you know, and Aufgeteam Größe Sachen, you know, and Aufgeteam for Yiddishkeit, and really, in a certain sense, it's an insult to his godless, who he had a godless to him. Just like I said, you know, like Bernie Lander also had a godless to him. You know, Lubavitch Rebbe had a Groise Yid. And Aufgeteam Groise Sachen. But, you know, it doesn't mean, but when you treat him in a different way, then it's a begetter, an insult, you know. And in Chabad they understand this musuk that in Chabad they don't make hispedim, right? So don't they understand this musuk? They don't make hispedim. I have a lot of respect for what's his name, for Yossel Kranz, because he's not a Lubavitcher. He's a Lubavitcher shliach in Virginia, and he's not a Lubavitcher chassid. He's a modern Orthodox rabbi. He's a nice guy. He's a little tough, a little rough around the edges, a little bit but he says Hespedim, like big Hespedim. I remember he said a Hesped for Eid. I was very impressed by the Hesped. He said, for Eid, conservative guy, and like, he was like, Dr. So-and-so, he was my hero, and that's how it should be. And he's also smart to have Shlomo Pereira there, who's more than the Neshama there, and also Shlomo Pereira, a Vloirlich Siddish Yid, and not the Michiganer, They're both so normal and good, and they're good people, even though whatever, they didn't like me so much, but I'm not much to like, so I can understand, but I like them. I have a lot of respect for them. I really have a geschmack from both of them. So fine people. So, a little different, different type of approach, but there's a big wisdom that they had, both of them there and everything. Very smart people, very intelligent, and I could have learned a lot from them, and I hope they're doing good work in the prison where I used to work. That has a very special place in my heart there in Petersburg, Virginia. Tzaddik is sitting there with false charges. To be accused as a person of such a disgusting thing, such an evil thing, and the person who is so nizar in every small chutei shel yud, that anyone could have a havamina that he could do such a disgusting thing. It's a horrible, horrible situation. He's sitting a 30-year mishpat. Yid who knows all Shas, Bavli, Yushalmi, Shonim Achronim, all in front of his eyes with a clarity and a hezber and a brilliance, and he should be sitting there. It's a big, it's very sad. And Bashkin, who did tremendous avlas and hurt a lot of people, and he's this big hero, and I don't forgive him. He should have a simcha with and a tzaddik like Moshe Weingarten, who was framed and who did nothing. Everybody knows he's innocent. All the staff there know he's innocent, and he's sitting on false charges. It's a big avla, and to be accused of such a disgusting thing, he would never have a havamina to do anything so disgusting like that. That's the situation, and I hope Yossel is giving him what what respect he deserves. I don't know if he understands how to deal with him. All right. So, what else? Alright, it's a half hour already. I'm almost to work. I might as well start loading this up. I know this is going to offend a lot of people, but I don't mean to. I mean to have an honest, open discussion about honest, open things. Beautiful pictures. I was talking about Baba Varav, the beautiful picture of Baba Varav feeding pigeons in the park with his own hand, and just a smile on his face. It's a real. He was a big tzaddik. If you ever in New Jersey over there, by Deans, New Jersey, to go to the Tzion, it's a chashva thing. Thank you everybody for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. let me know, is this an interesting discussion? These things I should be talking about, not talking about. Because on one hand, sometimes when you say controversial things, you get more views, because people are upset at you, I know, like Usher Mesa, like he does pretty well on YouTube because he's not like making a living, but like doing better than I am. He gets more views, he gets more. So he has more subscribers and so forth. And there's an idea behind that to be shocking. There are subjects that I want to talk about, but I'm worried that I'll get banned if I talk about them. Well, thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe. I'll do sub for sub, especially if you're like between 500 and 1,000 subscribers. So there's if it's a Jewish thing, I'll subscribe for sure. If it's not, and I'll do my best because YouTube gives limits on how many people you can subscribe to every day. I'm gonna try my best to give subscriptions but please stay subscribed because I lost a lot of subscriptions. I don't know if YouTube took away my subscribers or if people just unsubscribed. I mean, I'm upset that YouTube is doing this nonsense with but I'm trying my best to get to that 1,000 mark. So please subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, even if you're never going to watch the videos. Watch one video, for 10 seconds or something, and subscribe. I mean, you watched this one already. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please subscribe. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, please let me know. I'll say there's a secret word, wildlife. Write in the comments, wildlife, so I know that you made it to the end. And that's just what's written on the car in front of me. And we'll see what we could do. Maybe once we get to 1,000, maybe we'll do some kind of giveaway or something, one of my books, or at least an ebook, I don't know. Alright. Take care, all the best.